The sun gonna be out tomorrow, man. Let's do it tomorrow. It's over. Diz, Day, what's up, man? Day, come on the live with me right now. Go on. Get on, Day. Come on, Day, get on. They need to hear what you're talking about.
So, G.
What up? What's gonna happen to us, Day? Tell us.
You're coming, G.
Tell us what's gonna happen, man. You're one of the few woke people, Day. Come on. They can't just hear it from me. Daylight gone. He not telling nobody shit. Man, Daylight out of here. Oh my God, they really crazy right now. So yeah, just so you guys know, Daylight's feeling crazy because Daylight's been talking about this shit forever. That's all he raps about. You find appreciation for Daylight in these times because his content is very he's so spooked right now. Yo, Day. Where's Day at, man? Someone get Day back. Go back on this shit. Tell him to come on. Yo, me and Day had a crazy ass conversation about this shit. We got off the phone. He sounded like he was gonna leave Earth after it, man. Oh no, we didn't sell our soul, man. What are you talking about, man? We're the ones that pretty much should have went way further, but we talked too much shit. I tried to stop for a while, but as you guys see, I don't care anymore. I try to do the normal, like, artist thing and just ignore everything and just battle rap. But I wasn't built for the shit. I'm built to really just constantly tell it how it is, period. Man, I wish we could get Day back. I just know Day's freaking out right now. Yeah, I'll hit him up, tell him to come back, or I'll hit him later. I'll tell him we'll do a live and shit. Diz can't do no 6-foot distance battle. No, I can't. If you put me in a battle with somebody that's 6 feet away from me, I don't even want to battle them. That's why I don't do stage battles. I always, in the last King of the Dot event, I made them cancel the stage thing. The first day, as y'all saw, when I battled Danny Myers, it was on stage, but then the next day it was in the pit. Because I'm not even trying to be, there's no distance. We all got to be huddled up right there. You know what? I really feel like the battle shit's dead right now. Like, people are trying to, like, keep it alive, but it's like, man, look what's going on in the world. Like, you guys want to sit around and rap about shit. Like, what the fuck is, like, our freedoms are being taken for real, for real. You guys need to stop looking at people that say that as some kind of lunatics, you know what I'm saying? Like, so shit with the internet and censorship. Like, I'm not going to be able to talk to you guys like this for long. I hope you understand that. And I will start getting cut off and monitored when I'm talking like this. This is going to that AI algorithm technology where it just picks up on the things you're talking about and it becomes smart enough to just knock you offline, hide your live from certain people. Like, already certain of my followers are sending me screenshots of my posts all censored. They can't see them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why would that happen to me though? Out of all people, you guys got to ask, like, if they're paying attention to me and like really trying to censor, and you guys have to know, I was averaging, I can show you guys, like in the past 3 years on my Instagram, I was getting 1 million visitors on my stories. 1 million, like, a week, not in a day, but like in a week, I would end up getting like 1 million visitors on my shit. My shit is down to nothing. It's like 30,000 a week or something. It's really bad. Like, gone. They all vanished. All the people vanished. I don't know where the fuck they went, but they can't see me no more. Anyways, so, internet censorship and all this shit that's happening and freedom to move around and the right to assemble and just be in a group with your friends. Like, you guys have to understand this is already happening to everybody. You're not going to be able to be in a group with your homies. And once it happens to you, you're going to be really fucking mad when you're just hanging out with 5 of your friends and you're told everybody needs to get the fuck up out of here and go home. And it's already happening everywhere. I don't see it happening America or California, but you seen the guy in Philadelphia just got pulled off the train and beat up and embarrassed in front of everybody. And you know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't wearing a mask on the train. People are crackheads. Like, people are real life crackheads. So, like, if they're terrified of one dude coming on a train without a mask and they're all wearing masks, then why are you wearing masks? Why are you wearing masks? Do you think that a person walking onto a train that's supposedly sick, asymptomatic, you can't even tell, you're just assuming the guy is sick, and you're embarrassing the person, and chances are he doesn't have the shit because he doesn't. He's not a sick patient. Of course, the guy doesn't have COVID-19, but you know, they embarrassed him in front of everybody, pulled him off the train, told him he can't ride to where he was going. He might have been going to make a living to be able to survive during these hard times, and he was denied it. And I've seen some dude get chased off the beach by a cop. He was jogging on the beach by himself. Like, this is where the lunatic shit has gotten, and the people are becoming rats and snitches and telling on them, and they're like, yeah, have everybody locked inside. Like, dog, within like a month or two, if this continues, the depression rate and the rate of people becoming desperate is going to increase, and people are going to start fucking shit up. And that's what civil unrest, they're trying to create civil unrest. This is why I'm in alert mode right now, and I don't care about battle rap, because I am awaiting the huge possibility of civil unrest right now, not the possibility of me dying in a hospital from a virus at all. You know what I mean? As should anybody else be, more than anything. Obviously, be cautious. Don't get sick. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you to go out there and be an idiot. Put a mask if you go out, but I'm just saying. George Orwell was a real motherfucker. I'm going to say that again. George Orwell was a real motherfucker, and he was extremely ahead of his time. All right. I urge you guys to really soak in all his material, especially, obviously, the famous dystopian novel 1984, or any crazy dystopian type of novel. And there's tons of them. You could look at Brave New World. There's a bunch of shit that you could read that'll tell you. David Icke has been doing shit for a long time, but I found out about David Icke when I was a kid. I stopped listening to him because he got too carried off with the reptilian shit. You know what I'm saying? So I stopped fucking with David Icke, but David Icke is smart as fuck. But the reason why I stopped listening to him when I was younger, because I found David Icke when I was like fucking 17, 18 years old, and he was like a phenomenon in England, and he was accusing the royal family of all being reptiles, and all of it sounded real good, you know what I'm saying? But he started going on about how they could shapeshift into reptiles and shit, and he just took it too far to where the media just made fun of him, and he just looked like a fucking lunatic. But the reality is he's a smart guy too. If you want to pay attention to people who know what's going on in the world, I urge you to also to Google this name and look at all his shit. Robert Steele. All right, Robert Steele, and you spell Steele with an extra E at the end. Steele, Robert Steele. I urge you guys to check that guy out, because I'm going to go right now, but I'm going to leave you guys with these things. ID 2020, obviously. St. Raphael, good shit. What was I saying before that? You threw me off. What was I just saying? We're talking about Robert Steele. Robert Steele is a former NSA, and he's one of the most intelligent people that you could ever get an interview for or listen to any event, like anything from that's revolving, anything that's going on right now. Like, this dude has been involved in this for like 30 years. Alex Jones is definitely a cornball, like fake human being. Like, he's always been around to make everything look insane. Alex Jones is a fucking lunatic. I don't trust any fanatical religious people, no matter what religion they're from. If they believe that they're the only way to God and everybody else is a sinner, they're already out of my book anyways. So like, I have long gave a fuck about that guy. Like, when he first came out, there was a period of time when I was younger, Alex Jones was talking about aliens, and I listened to that. I liked that shit. Anything that went beyond that shit, the guy was a fucking idiot. Um, so don't ever listen to that fucking lunatic. But there's tons of other people that actually know what the fuck they're talking about. Yeah, Ike seemed like he was, he went down a weird rabbit hole, but at the end of the day, Ike knows serious shit. His understanding of how 5G works just in general right now is pretty fucking incredible. And it's verified, so you can't really do anything about that. So just because someone's crazy doesn't mean that they can't have access to accurate material and talk about it. That's what a lot of crazy and stupid motherfuckers do, is they get a hold of accurate material and they push it so they look like geniuses, but then they push their bullshit in between. You know what I'm saying? So who you need to listen to is Robert Steele, because he's not. Robert Steele is like your homie that goes, "Don't put the camera on me." So the fact that he's done interviews in the latest years and all this shit is it's different for him. This guy is the NSA whistleblower that's protected himself his whole life, like legally from this is the really intelligent person. They can't even kill him. So, and he's confirmed NSA, CIA, everything. He's worked every level of national security. So he's the man. You know what I'm saying? You listen to that guy, not some fucking news anchor that's going to for sure feed you bullshit. Like Cuomo, Megyn Kelly. There's a lot of compromise. Well, all the journalists, they're agents. A lot of them are actual agents. They're not really journalists. They're in that department of their agency. So Anderson Cooper is a fucking agent. You know what I'm saying? But, Megyn Kelly, a lot of these people, they're all agents. They all work for higher interests, and they carry a narrative, and they make sure that you don't find out the truth. That's what they're there for, actually. So when people take that and they coined the term conspiracy theory, and they coined the term fake news. Exactly. And that's how they do it. They are the conspiracy theory. They are the fake news. So they go ahead and they put that out there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are like that just in everyday life. They'll put out, a lot of these child trafficking piece of shit politicians and fucking statutory rapist politicians. Actually, their front is how they help kids. You know what I'm saying? Their front is doing children foundations and fucking, you know what I'm saying? That's what they do. And then at the same time, they're violating children. You know what I'm saying? So it's that hiding in plain sight bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And it exists. It's real as fuck. It's exactly how the world functions, actually. And you got to look at the top of every single charity foundation or whatever, and start investigating every single one of them. People that defend sexual abuse, people that defend whatever, hotlines for whatever. What the fuck are you really doing? You know what I'm saying? Nobody checks these type of people. The Red Cross, for years, people are like, these are our saviors. They come through and save us. The Red Cross went to Africa, stole $5 million for the Ebola situation that happened. These people needed the $5 million of aid that came in for the area of Ebola that was infected was exactly how much they needed to contain and take care of all the medical supplies and everything. And Red Cross vanished the money and pretty much admitted to it later. So again, it's not a conspiracy theory. They admitted to vanishing the fucking money and pretty much said they don't know where it went. That was the explanation. Imagine $5 million vanishing and you being able to actually say that to somebody. I want to be like that. What kind of immunity do you have? I want to be able to lose $5 million and not explain how that happened, because I don't get to do that. And most human beings would go to jail for the rest of their life for that. You know what I'm saying? And possibly worse, which is get killed for it. You know what I'm saying? Imagine taking $5 million from a mobster and then just being like, hey man, the money's gone. I don't know where it went, but I'm sorry. I'm going to put out an article saying I officially apologize, bro. Are we good? And that's what happens with these organizations. And the same goes for the CDC and the WHO. And you got to see who invests in them and who created them. Who created it? Does anybody in here even know who created the World Health Organization? I'm not going to even tell you guys. Just go figure it out. And then you're just like, oh, shit. Okay. More money shit. So, anyways, big dog, Alan Paris in this bitch. Holla at me, man. Hope you've been doing good, big bro. Yep, Next Level knows who it is. There you go. They said it. That's who started that. And guess who funds it? The second biggest funder, which owns a stake in the company, Bill Gates. So obviously everything that's happening right now, along with the patent virus that belongs to him and the WHO organization and the vaccines that they're building, there's a money trail. It's that easy to put shit together in this world. There's no such thing as conspiracy. Conspiracy is when somebody tells you, like, yeah, what David Icke was pushing back in the day, that people could shapeshift into reptilians. Yeah. That's a conspiracy theory. What I'm telling you guys is not a conspiracy theory. It's how the world fucking operates. If you don't know that, you just will never understand money. And I'm not saying I fully understand money, but I've got some kind of understanding of how the shit's moving around on the top level. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's causing problems. Same people that cause Spanish flu. The Spanish flu gets so diabolic. Like, the Spanish flu has multiple things that you come at it from a tree. You create a fork in a road. You have a bunch of things that happened during that time. You had World War I, and you had the introduction of radio frequency all at the same time, right? So then you look at the situation as like, okay, so what is happening? Is it the radio frequency that's causing this right now? Or is it this pandemic is bioengineered anyways, the frequency is there to support it, and it's used as a mechanism to aid in war? Because if you look at how wars happen throughout history, there's always a pandemic that supports it. It's like leading up to it. So again, it tells you that there's probably a war coming and the money is going to fucking collapse. You know what I'm saying? Because it's moving around really crazy. And you know who benefited off this the most is China. And I've always been kind of pro-Chinese. Like, I like China. Like, the Chinese are incredibly smart. You know what I'm saying? But the way their government operates on a certain level is literally like real, like, Hitler shit. Like, how people looked at Hitler, like, how are people going to condemn that and not condemn the way they move it? You know what I'm saying? So they doing fine right now. They bought out all their own stocks back as if they caused the shit. They literally bought their whole shit back. They got all they're the smartest motherfuckers right now. You know what I'm saying? You got to admire genius, but also you got to always find the moral compass too in situations where America is looked at across the world as having a really fucked up moral compass. But what people don't understand, which is another reason I'm proud to be American, is that I understand that the overall picture of how America looks at things and sees the world is not what happened in Libya, what happened like the Benghazi situation, like Iraq. It's certain people that take control and they fuck everybody and bring them along for the ride. And until people realize that there has been a big issue that has existed since the Titanic has sunk, which is another thing I could get into with you guys. Like, I know none of you in here understand what the Titanic was about. I know 99% of people, including me, my whole life went thinking that was just a ship that fucking hit an iceberg and sank. What people don't realize is that it wasn't. It was the beginning of everything fucking up for us and where we're at today. The Titanic was so important, which is why they had their lovable golden child, Leonardo DiCaprio, act as the main guy, and it was such a big thing for all of us. We all watched Titanic. When it came out, it was the biggest fucking movie. And the reason why is because that story had to be re-imprinted into people's heads so they completely fucking forget the fact that the three strongest dudes in America were on board that ship that were opposing the Federal Reserve. You know what I'm saying? Like Iger, Strauss, and Guggenheim, and there's a third man. You know what I'm saying? So was it J.P. Morgan? Guggenheim. There you go, man. We got some woke people in here, man. I fucking love you. So basically, these people were opposing the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve wasn't able to start, which is how they took our taxes and income tax that later on came with the war. I could tell you guys about that. But that was, they kept attempting, and they could not knock these three men because they had power over all of the Congress. You know what I'm saying? So basically, they set up a whole thing where they're all going to go on a cruise ship for a business meeting, and they sunk the goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? And after that, the Federal Reserve started. So now you get to where the fuck we're at right now. And fractional reserve banking is how debt was created, how all of us live like fucking slaves. Fractional reserve banking, paying taxes, income tax is theft. When people say that, they're not just saying that as a metaphor. It is really the truth. Income tax is theft because it was created, first of all, during World War because we told the people that we needed more taxes now. We needed income tax to help support the troops to fight because we needed it or we were going to die. But then after the war stopped, the income tax stayed. This is how everything works. This is why this coronavirus thing is important and fucked up. Because whatever they pass now is going to stay when this bullshit is gone. Now you get to where my frustration is coming from, why I've vanished off like the internet and I just show up a couple of times on here because I just don't give a fuck anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I just, my phone keeps fucking up. So where were we? My fucking phone's gonna fuck it. All right, so that's just holding by like a hair. So anyways, now you go back in a full circle, you realize, no, it's not a world full of conspiracies, caretaker, man. It's all connected shit. It's not conspiracies, man. Everything is connected, man. Like, I know what's going on because I've known for a long time. If I start telling you guys right now, it would be really hard for you to connect the fucking dots because this is 20 years of me paying attention to shit. You know what I'm saying? If you look at who Bill Gates is, you guys think that this is some random guy. Dog, this is a random kid who dropped out of school that didn't know anybody and was just a fucking nerd that got appointed and doesn't know anything about biological anything and got appointed to be this Superman. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like people never asked, who is he? So there are people out there that went through his lineage, and Bill Gates is a Rothschild. The Gates thing is a whole front. Like, that's his real family. So again, it goes back to the people in power. People don't realize Bill Gates is not, he's Bill Rothschild, really. Like, that's not speculation either. And it's very funny that they don't embrace that publicly. Like, why not? Why not? Yeah, bro, like his father, like his whole lineage tree and where it goes back, who he is, it's the same as the fucking pedophile James Alefantis dude that owned the fucking Comet Pizza place that everyone tried to say was, oh, this is all conspiracy theories. Well, it's not, because the James Alefantis guy, whose name translates into I love children, a name he created because that's not really his real name. He's really a Rothschild, and that's why he became one of the 50 strongest people in Washington by just being a pizza store owner. The fuck? He's nobody. Everybody wants to hang out with him. Why? So, you know, this whole royal shit, you know, that's pretty much what it is. We're all peasants. Yeah, man, all that shit's fucking real. These guys are sick as fuck. Everybody knows it, too. It's not like I'm breaking some fucking news to people. Everybody knows this shit's real. Especially in Hollywood. I don't want nothing to do with Hollywood. You don't see me jumping to be in no fucking movies. Doing my own shit. Where is there to go right now where it is? Hollywood is a den of them. You know, what's his name came out and told everybody, sorry. Can't believe I forgot his name. Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman did a full-blown testimony on TV and people just didn't believe him. Charlie Sheen is known to do this type of shit. Got AIDS from it. Who do you know? Like, me and Thesaurus were laughing about this. Of course Charlie Sheen is a fucking pedophile. Who do you know just gets AIDS like that? Like, who do you fucking know? Who do you know? The guy's a fucking rapist and a pedophile. That's why he has AIDS. He's a gay rapist. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no other explanation, especially with all the accusations that's been put on all these guys. You know what I'm saying? Roman Polanski was accused for years. Everyone did the same thing. Oh, it can't be. No. Oh, no. And then he got popped. You know, Epstein, they've been talking about him forever. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck out of here with that shit. These fools are all... Kevin Spacey was my favorite actor. You know how hard it was for me? I let go of Kevin Spacey like 7 years ago, 8 years ago. People are still hanging on to Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey was Kaiser Soze. Who remembers Kaiser Soze from Usual Suspects? Your name is Soze. Damn, you got his name in your shit. Kaiser Soze, he was in a wheelchair killing everybody. That was the craziest shit ever. I thought that Kevin Spacey was the best. How about Seven? When Seven, that whole shit about how he fucking did the 7 deadly sins and you look back on all the shit that he was involved in, the guy's a nut. You know what I'm saying? And then it turns out he starts getting accused for fucking raping kids and shit, and everybody tries to make everyone look crazy talking about it. Then the motherfucker comes out and admits it. Oh, you know, I didn't know, and you know, he was 14, but you know, I'm gay. That's why I did it. But that doesn't explain the guy being a child. You know, you go fuck a grown man, good for you. You know what I'm saying? You out here taking advantage of children. There's only one place for you. You know what I'm saying? There is no explanation. Yeah, Spacey was the man. He was my top 5. You ask me, top 5 actors, I always threw Spacey in there, man. It's a fucking shame. The K-Pax shit, remember when he played the alien from a different place? Now I'm looking back on his shit, like, maybe he was trying to tell us some shit. Maybe that motherfucker is not a human. And neither is his homies. Goddamn weirdos. Denzel's the man. You know, Denzel has nothing to do with this type of shit. I refuse to believe it. But you know who does is, well, I think it's Chris Rock. Or is it Chris Tucker? Why do I always fucking confuse them two? Who one of them was on board in Epstein's plane? I can't remember. Y'all might be better at that than me. I think it was Tucker, to be honest with you. Chappelle was involved in it, but if you think about it, Chappelle went nuts and he backed off the shit. So maybe Chappelle was just, I get the feeling Chappelle, like Kanye, was trying to escape. When we look back on what Kanye West did, we all thought he was also a nut, right? Like Kanye West was really trying to escape. He was telling people they're lying to you guys. Remember what he was saying at his show? Everything's a lie. He's like telling you, and they're like in you know, his Kim Kardashian along with the rest of the fucking elites went ahead and, oh man, Ye's just crazy right now. He's somewhere healing, you know. He's somewhere healing. Maybe he became a nut because of the shit that he's seen. Have you do you remember how Kanye came in? He was never crazy. He came in on some God shit. His gospel stuff was amazing, and he's back to his gospel self, which is crazy as hell. You know what I'm saying? He went back to the gospel thing because it's almost his only place to escape. Me analyzing this from the outside, I see Kanye West as somebody who is in his own bubble now because that's his only form of protection. His only home is around those, that choir is his protection. Those are his angels. I feel like he's going around places. He's protecting himself from, he disconnected himself from the industry. He's not dropping songs like he used to. He's doing his God mode shit because he's in God mode right now. And it was after they did all that to him. You know what I'm saying? You get out of line, you get fucked up. DMX was one of them. DMX was supposed to go to the top. DMX is too real. And then DMX's drug addiction helped. And who knows how much of that they influenced. I don't blame everything on DMX. I don't give a fuck. Same shit happened with Prodigy. You know what I'm saying? The people that always go the right path. You know, Eazy-E was another one of them. And he magically got AIDS and magically died faster than anyone could even keep up with. You know what I'm saying? I, like his son, still refuse to believe till this day that he just died like that. You know what I'm saying? South Africa in this bitch, what up? Joe Wilden, maybe that was the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to look into that. I didn't really look into that. I just know it's not true. I just know that Easy was a problem for everybody. He wasn't like the rest of them, ready to take orders and be a dick sucker and just give in to whatever the fuck they had planned since back then. Because what people don't understand is the music industry was infiltrated via operations from the alphabet letter boys. They set up these operations in the 50s actually, and they planned them like 50-year operations and even longer, how to infiltrate Hollywood and infiltrate the music. This is all documented, unclassified shit. So around the time Eazy-E came around and Ice-T and what they were doing, they were immediately recognized as a huge problem. and Public Enemy and people like that were a huge problem immediately. So the narrative was changed on purpose. Where we got today is by design, not by accident. And that's the problem with how cancerous the evolution of rap became, is because now in rap, instead of people being able to clearly tell someone like, you dumbed down the art form, you suck, they are able to say, no, you just couldn't keep up with the times. Because there is that distinct variation in knowing whether it's keeping up with the times or is this by design. Are we here by design, or has this shit evolved into the shit? And I will tell you firsthand, it's by design. We're here because it was constructed that way. You can't have a platform unless you're dishing out the message, the unified message. That's why all the celebrities at the same time came together and told you to stay in the house. And that's why Cardi B came out saying they were all getting paid to say that. You know what I'm saying? In the music industry, rap is the most dangerous form of freedom of speech because you can pack so much content into it. The pride that I hold in being a rapper and why we're different from other artists with respect to any form of singing, from jazz to R&B, blues, whatever it is that we all have an amazing message that we could get across, but the amount of detail and content you could pack into a rap song will always be superior to any genre or form of music, which makes hip hop the superior form of human. Like when you look at humanity, their superior form of musical communication is actually rap music, and that's why it's the most popular form of music and rapidly became so, because it's only natural for the human mind to accept. We love, we're sponges for information. So any place where we find more information than others, we're gonna naturally gravitate towards it. So that became the threat, and it became to where any message could be sent through that. And because of that, it had to be infiltrated. So it was infiltrated, and certain rappers were even placed as, like they call them plants, industry plants, you know what I'm saying? And they are there to pump that message. And it's very successful, actually, because it was created by geniuses and people with elaborate ways of putting together these plans to where they successfully got people killed because they could create the violent atmospheres and, you know, along with the hip hop police and how they move shit around. And they are perpetuating the drug use to where it's so acceptable that deaths will become common, because now there's no more awareness that, hey man, maybe you shouldn't do that much drugs right now or pop that many pills because, you know, you could die from it. That no longer becomes part of the narrative. It's more party on, man. What are you, pussy? You know what I'm saying? And that's how I think a lot of the victims that we've lost in the past 5-6 years to drug abuse in the rap game are all victims of propaganda and agenda and just formats that are there by design. You know what I'm saying? And it's very sad. It's why I never wanted to be in the industry. It's why I moved away from a lot of opportunities, and I don't want to be a famous rapper. There's nothing about that life when you find out what it is that's real, and you become somebody else's property and somebody else's message, unless you do it independently and you find your own lane, which is what a lot of people are able to do more, and we have the chance to do that. That's why we have flourished some way on the internet and created this amount of, you know, following, and just, you know, I have like, I don't know how many views I've already racked up online, you know what I'm saying? It's over 200 million. So I didn't need no marketing agency so you could do it, but they're stopping that. And that's the problem, where we go full circle with the war that we have on censorship and what's going on in the world in America, is that us as rappers, and whoever you are, if you're a YouTuber, whatever you are putting out, you now lost that. You lost that fucking free platform that was given to you to circumvent those guys. They had enough. The industry and the people that control information had enough of independent artists. They've had enough of this shit. So the algorithms have kicked in. And now it's separated us where we can't catch up to their celebrities anymore, even though we could have easily. There was a long period of time where I had way more followers than a lot of the famous rappers that were out. But we can't catch up anymore. They increase way too fast, and our reach is never going to be. Our algorithms are not going to be open like theirs because they're the people that are putting money behind it and they're in charge behind the scenes. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why the rapper is being silenced. There's been an attack on the rapper forever, where it doesn't matter who it is. Once they become, even if you do talk your way to the top, once they get a hold of you, they're going to change your thing. You know, Kendrick Lamar for me was like, when he came out and he started saying the shit that he was saying, I was thinking, how are they allowing this? How are they allowing Kendrick Lamar to talk this way? You know what I'm saying? He came out really kind of just saying fuck it and putting everything on blast. And it blew my head because it blew my mind because I was just like, how are they allowing him to say all this shit? And then if you look at it, how long did that last? To where Kendrick Lamar is really in your face every day with a message. His message is gone. They buried it. They buried the shit out of it. And you could think of multiple things. Oh, he didn't put out a good album. Well, how do people put out good albums? It's with funding and all types of support and fucking algorithms and fucking marketing. So if he doesn't have that, how is he going to put out a good album? How is he going to do it? How is he going to pull something off? And if he's under contracts and all types of shit, maybe he can't. So, yep, that's the Matrix. Young Bella Vendetta, you know it. So, you know, Tupac is someone who also was like the wrong person to become famous for them. I'm not saying anyone killed Tupac like that. Tupac died in some real gang shit. But I think eventually Tupac would have been destroyed, regardless of, I think, you know, as crazy as this sounds, I came to a conclusion once that it's good Pac died the way he did because he still went out as a martyr. You know what I'm saying? And even though he was too young to fulfill his shit, he did enough more in his life than most people do anyways. And he was able to live on through it rather than him continuing his life and them destroying him with rape allegations and fucking, oh, he turned out to be this and, oh, he's finished. And they destroy his career, fucking destroy his funding, put him in a hole. And back then there wasn't the internet like that. So Pac would have got crushed and never really became a voice anyways. You know, because he had Illuminati across his belly. That's why. Because Pac went into the shit and immediately